Hey gaming fans, so today's another Yu-Gi-Oh deck profile, and this one I wanted to build a deck based on this this number 43, Manipulation of Souls. I always thought this was kind of a fun card. Pretty much he has two great effects. One is a built-in protection effect, so you can detach material from him to attach a number monster from your graveyard to him, and if you do, he is pretty much, he can't be destroyed by battle or card effects or whatever from your opponent. And then the secondary effect is what really the deck is based on, is that once per turn when you gain life, you can add that amount of life or add to his attack that same amount of life and do direct damage to your opponent equal to the amount as well. So the idea is really just to get him onto the field and then have some really good life gain effects to boost him up and do some damage to your opponent, which can really chip away at your opponent's life pretty fast if you can gain enough life and then get a good direct attack through. So I wanted to come up with a good way to get these guys out. So he requires three level 2 dark monsters. So obviously we have to go for that type of strategy. So the knife, spoon, and fork guys are pretty much the best way to probably do it. So if you're not familiar with these guys have a weird name, Malicevorous. I don't know how to say that. Malicevorous Spoon. But they're pretty much a spoon, fork, and knife. They're level 2 dark monsters that all kind of work with each other to summon them to the field. So the spoon, when he is, what does he do? You could target one level 2 fiend type monster from your graveyard, special summon that target. So while he's on the field, when you normal summon or special summon another monster with that Malicevorous, whatever his name in his title, you can target a level 2 fiend monster from your graveyard and special summon it. So basically, if he's on the field and then you summon another one, and then you can pull one from the graveyard, then you got your 3 materials. So he's pretty important. So we'll have the 3 spoons, and then we got the fork. You could send one other fiend monster from your hand to the graveyard to special summon this card from your hand. So he works well with the spoon to get one into the graveyard. So then you would end up with 2 on the field. Like you special summon him, then you normal summon. Then you can normal summon this guy, special summon this guy, get one from the graveyard. Then we got the knife. When this card is normal summoned, you could target one Malicevorous, whatever monster from your graveyard, and special summon that target again. So they all kind of work together to really get the 3 pieces of material on the field to bring out your number 3 or 43 Manipulator of Souls. So then for the rest of the 2 level 2 dark monsters, obviously we're going to do some Cauldrons. Pretty good stall monster. I put 3 in here because we are playing the teleport. So this card, when it's targeted for an attack, you can pay 100 life points to negate the attack. So nice, good stall card. So if you turn 1, you pop him out on the field and hope your opponent doesn't destroy him in any other way. But they can't attack him. Then, thanks to the God card, the structure decks, we got the Caligo Claw Crow. This originally, I believe the first printing of this came out in one of the hero structure deck, or not hero, I don't know, it was like an earlier structure deck that pretty much nobody picked up. So I always only had 1, but then they came out in the God, I can't remember if it was the Slifer one or what. So now I can have 3 in the deck. And so if you control a dark monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. So it's just another level 2 dark monster you can get onto the field really fast. Now for some life gaining stuff, we have a Juro. So during either player's battle step, quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, gain 1,000 life points. So I just figure he kind of works with the Manipulator of Souls. You can special summon him during, you could go into your battle phase with your Manipulator of Souls out, and then special summon this guy to increase your Manipulator of Souls by 1,000, do 1,000 damage to your opponent, and have a 1,700 attacker. So I thought that would be pretty cool. And because we're playing with a lot of dark monsters, especially in 3s, Dark Arm Dragon, why not? You can only special summon him by having 3 dark monsters in your graveyard. So essentially, when you get out your Manipulator of Souls, you'll probably have the 3 materials in there. Not to mention, you have cards that, just in case you go over 3, because you have to have exactly 3 dark monsters in your graveyard and no more. So these guys, the spoon and knife and all that, also can manipulate the graveyard by pulling them out, just in case you need to, you know, get it down to 3. So, for some support, I threw in some pretty typical cards. We got our Harpy's Feather Duster and Regeki and Monster Reborn. You know, why not? They're just good support cards. Foolish Burial will help to get, you know, whatever you need into the graveyard when your spoon, knife, or fork, whatever you need to get in there. Double Summoned to also help get more onto the field quicker. And of course, Emergency Teleport. This card just recently, I believe, got bumped to 2 now. I was just looking at the ban list and it's at 2. So it won't be long before that probably ends up at 3 again. But yeah, this will help get your Creebons onto the field. Like, the whole deck is really just based on getting the 3 dark monsters out on the field as fast as possible. And again, some draw power, Lure of Darkness. In case you draw a bunch of knife and fork and spoon cards you don't really need, you draw 2 cards and banish one of them, get rid of it. Then for some life gaining cards, Poison of the Old Man I thought was a good choice. I put 2 in here. You could probably go to 3 if you want to. But I like how it's kind of versatile, so you can either gain 1200 life points. So if your Manipulator of Souls is out, he's going to gain 1200 attack, plus you'll do 1200 damage to your opponent, which is not bad. And then, even if anything, if your Manipulator of Souls isn't out, you can always just inflict 800 damage to your opponent. Maybe even finish them off by doing that. I also added 1 Cauldron of the Old Man. I thought this was kind of a fun card, especially if you can get this out on turn 1 and if it sits there. It's sort of like a wave motion cannon. When this card is activated, you place 1 counter on it. Once per turn during your standby phase, add 1 counter, and then you can activate one of the effects to either gain 500 life for each counter on this card or inflict 300 damage to your opponent for each counter on this card. So this kind of works both ways. You know, you can let it go up and then get the life point gain, or just launch it for some damage. And then to get some really good life points, I put in some emergency provisions. So basically you just send spell or trap cards from your side of the field to the graveyard, increase your life points by 1,000. So, you know, even if you got a bunch of useless spells and traps that you don't need, you could just set them onto the field and then just send them all. You could probably get, you know, a good 3,000-4,000 life points off of this, which would be really cool because you'd then boost this guy up by like 4,000. And that could really, you know, and then do 4,000 damage to your opponent. It really take your opponent by shock there. And then, of course, we need some more life gain. So I put in 3 ages, whatever, of Gaia. So this is, you gain 3,000 life points. If this card is removed from the field, you take 3,000 damage. So basically, it gives you 3,000, but then if it goes away, you have to pay the 3,000 back. But that's okay, because, you know, unless your opponent gets you really down and low in life points, it's not going to matter too much. And so with this, on 1 turn, you can gain 3,000, and on your next turn, if you use your emergency provisions, you know, you'll take 3,000 damage, but still you'll gain some life points and do some more damage. So it's just really a surprise for your opponent. And then I just thought, you know, typical cards like Lost Wind, just whatever you want to, you know, if you have hand traps or, you know, effect failures, just something. I also figured, like, this is good for your emergency provisions because this card has ability to come back to the field to be used as material for that card. And then I was just thinking for our last card, why not throw in a Storming Mirror Force, just in case your opponent gets ahead of you. You can wipe all their monsters out and hopefully get a direct attack off with your number 43 Manipulator of Souls. So yeah, I thought that this would be a fun deck to just kind of build. You know, I always like building these types of decks. I don't want to always build, well, I don't really build mainstream decks. And I know I'll get comments, people saying it's too slow for the meta and stuff like that, but that's what this game's all about too. It's all about having fun. Anyways, hope you liked the video. Throw some comments down below. What cards would you remove or add? I always like to hear it. Hope you subscribe and talk to you later.